Hello everybody, Mr. Pilgrim here with the second video in our Platinum Trophy Guide for Ender Lilies. In the first video, we went through fighting the first three bosses, and as you can see here on the map, this is about what we have gone through. Now, for the most part, I should have probably shown you how to get to the third area technically, or second area depending on how you look at things, and to fight the third boss in the game. But I figured showing you the map would help you out. Now, the next one that we're actually going to do is actually going to be requiring you to use swimming. But before you do that, while you're still here in the underwater area, you'll see where I am, and then just to the left of me is going to be a room. Now, in that room is going to be a mini boss that will have another spirit that you can get. I recommend just grabbing it now while you're here. And then the other one is actually going to be just a little bit at the start of the area. It's going to be that rectangular blue box, and then you'll head up. I recommend grabbing these two spirits now just because it never hurts to grab them or anything like that. But then I'm going to actually show you how to get to the next area, or what the next area is to go, and then I will eventually show you how to progress through that area, as it can be a little bit confusing at times, as it definitely can be a bit annoying trying to figure out where to go, especially with how difficult the enemies in that area can be. So, there you go. Alright, so to reach the next area in the game, you will have to come to the right of the collapsed shack warp point. And in here you will need to come down this exact hole, and you'll be in this area, and you need to activate this switch. Now, in doing so, this will allow you to traverse this underwater area, and this will take you to the next area. But to get to that side, you then have to go back and then down and around. Basically, you have to go in a reverse circle. So that'll take you to the third area. So from there, I'm going to show you from the first rest point in the area how to get to the next place, or next thing to do, and how to get to the next boss. Now, upon reaching this rest point, you will actually gain a trophy called Outset. This will be just for having 5 different rest points unlocked to you, which isn't too terribly bad, or at least, no, it's not 5. I forget how many specific things it is, but I think it's 5, 10, something like that. But anyways, like I said, I'm now going to be showing you from here where to go to get to the boss, just so you know the exact path that you want to take to make your life a little bit easier, because this area can be a bit confusing. Alright, so if you follow the path that I take, you will reach your second rest point in this area. You can basically run past all of the enemies except for one specific room that you will have to defeat everything on. But other than that, you can just run through. take the elevator up. And in here is the room that I was talking about. They can be a bit annoying, but once you deal with them, the gate will unlock. And you'll be at your first rest spot. Or second rest spot, I should say, of the area. Alright, and the next rest point that you can reach is just going to be a couple of rooms away. If you want to get there the fastest, you'll basically just follow this path. Come on. For some reason that enemy will sometimes either let you just dive beneath him or not. Take a safety heal just because. That's why. But you basically just come all the way down here to this elevator. And off to the left you'll have your next rest point. Alright, to reach the next checkpoint, you're just going to follow the left path and head down. Then continue heading left. Going to head up this little waterfall. Come up here to the right. Take a safety heal. Jump down here. Basically just run past all of these enemies. Once you make it all the way to the other side, you're just going to turn around and we're going to head up. You can bait these enemies into jumping at you. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Probably take some hits for it. But from here you're just going to follow this path up. The shortest path is to the left over here. Do be careful as this area is filled with mimics. But you're just going to come here, activate this switch, take this elevator up. Now we're going to come to the right, activate this switch here. Now we're going to come here over to the left. Just going to avoid fighting this mimic. Activate this switch. Then you're basically just going to come here over to the left. From here, you're just going to follow a very specific path. Getting a little close there. But from here, you're going to head back up, activate this switch, and you'll be back at the previous resting point. Now, if you want to spend some time in this area leveling up, I'd recommend at least getting somewhere between 30 and 35 before you challenge the boss, just because the boss can hit pretty hard. And plus, it'll make the grind for later on a little bit easier, as you can go through most of these areas and be just fine. Alright, so if you're feeling brave enough, you can follow the path that I take, and this will lead you to the next boss. This will be Guardian Silva. She has a bunch of ranged projectiles that she likes to do. She sometimes likes to do 2 melee attacks if possible, as you can see it right there. If you can, get behind her. When she gets into phase 2 though, that's when she starts doing more melee or ranged attacks, as you can see. Kind of makes it really hard to get those parry attacks off like before. But now she doesn't do 2 melee attacks. Make a safety heal right here. Also want to make sure you're not too close. Thought she's going to do a melee attack like so, or like so. But now once you get into phase 3, if you happen to have the Eileen ability, this one does a lot of good damage. Do be careful though, as if you get hit during this phase, she will do a lot of damage to you. Mainly just the one attack. And as you'll see, just like that, she will be defeated. And that will be the 4th boss down. Obviously, you're going to skip for cutscene reasons. But then you will have the spirits for Guardian Silva. You'll have a new ability that you can use while in the air to dash. And then you'll also unlock a ultimate ability that you can use, which is pretty cool. And you'll also get the Tenacity Trophy. So now we're going to move on from here to the next area, or to talk about any spirits. There is one that you can grab here. So I think it's in the bottom left. You'll head down to the right and then head down again from that little orange box, like 2 spaces to the left of us. And there will be a archer spirit that you can get, and upon getting him, you will also get another trophy for at least having 10 spirits in total. So I'm going to show you me doing that fight and then go from there. Alright, so in actuality, that boss fight is actually heading straight down from the first resting area. There'll be a little blight that you'll need to use the falling hammer for. And like I said, upon defeating and getting your 10th spirit, you will get the light trophy. There is, like I said, one more spirit in this area, as I was just thoroughly going through and then I stumbled upon him. So I'm going to show you that one now. Alright, so to get to the next area, you're basically going to come to the Great Hall, and then you're going to head to the right. And you're basically just going to follow that all the way until you reach the next objective. There'll be a snowy area that you'll get to, and I'm going to go into a little bit more detail from there. It shouldn't be too hard to get to from here to there. So yeah, I'm going to see you once I'm there, and then talk about what the next spirit we're going to get, and going through the next area. So yeah. Alright, so once you have made it to the snow area, you're first just going to want to come up to the left, and we're going to grab a new spirit. Pretty simple, nothing too crazy about this little area. You can kind of just speed run through it, and then you'll be here. And once you're here, you will be at the enemy itself. Don't forget you also have your new little mini ability. And just like that, you will have defeated him. Pretty simple. But now we're going to go back to the save area, and then from there I'm going to show you how to get through this section of the map. Alright, so the first room that we're going to do is going to be a bit of a walk around. For this area, I'm going to try and do it room by room, that way you guys know how to get through it, as some of them can be a bit confusing or take a bit of time to go through. And one of them actually has like multiple shortcuts that you open back up to get back to the same area. So I figured this will be the shorter path. So you basically just go down and then follow it counterclockwise, slowly going up, and then eventually you will come to this specific area, and over off into this hidden room you'll find the door that leads to the shortcut back to the start of this room, and then from there we will move on to the next room. Alright, so the next room is kind of similar to the last one, but this time you're going to be heading up to the left, and then you're going to be heading a little off to the right. Going to follow these wooden paths up. And up here you will find the switch right there, and then you will come down here, and this will open up the gate right there. You'll come down here, drop down one more time, and then right here you'll find the gate that'll lead you back to the start of the room, and then we will now head off to the right. Alright, so in this room you can basically just run through it. Nothing really major here. Alright, the next room is pretty simple and straightforward. I say that, but obviously they're not just directly straightforward. But you'll be following the path that I take. And along this path here, you will find your first resting point. Right here. Now from here, we're actually going to be heading up. So from here, you'll basically just follow the path that I take. Right here will lead you right up. Alright, so the next room that you're going to be going through is going to be going up to the left. Then we're going to go over to the right. You can unlock the shortcut right here. Alright, so for this room you basically are going to have to activate this switch. It'll then open up this door. You'll come through here. Come up here. You'll then activate this switch right here. And then you'll come up here. You'll come through this room. You'll have to fight all the enemies there, as it won't let you leave. You have to do this 3 times in this room alone. You'll then come into this specific part of the room and then do it again. And then you'll come up here, activate that switch, and then come into this room, and then you'll have to fight 2 of those dragon enemies. And then from here, you'll basically come down. And then you can open up a shortcut back, and then we'll come through here. Alright, so for this room, you're basically just going to follow the path that I take. You have to activate 2 elevators or moving platforms. There'll be birds that will spawn and try and attack you during this, so do be careful of that. Activate the second one and we'll come over here. And then we'll come into this room here. Alright, now we're quickly going to grab the next save room right here. You'll open it up. And this is going to be the main hub, as you'll eventually notice that there's going to be this little under area right here that will allow you to come back to this area. So for now, we're just going to head back through and into this room here. Alright, so in this room, it's a lot of elevator maneuvering, but the first thing you're going to want to do is take this elevator up. You're going to follow the path around, take this elevator down, call this elevator to take it up, because it won't be down originally. Then basically what you're going to want to do is just send this elevator down. And then from here, it's kind of weird, but you basically have to maneuver around in a way it's weird to say, but you have to go back around like so, and this will allow you to finally head down, and then you're basically going to use this elevator and this is going to be the main thing. So then you could call this elevator and then you'll take this elevator up, and then you'll come back over, drop all the way down, drop down into this room here, and then you'll come over here. And this will allow you to break the door panel right there. So then from here, you're basically just going to do the same thing except with the other elevator. So then you're just going to send this one up. And then come and take this one down. You'll drop down here. Then you can drop down here, and like I said before, remember that shortcut I was talking about? Boom, right here. So now you have an easier way of doing that. So that's the first half of this room. There's more. So now we're going to go into that. Alright, so in the second part of this room, you're basically going to come down here. You have to fight a couple enemies before you can leave. You'll then come out here to this little side area. You'll just basically follow this side path all the way up. Then eventually you'll have to come over here to the left. Do be careful, as there's an archer and a couple of those jumping enemies, so they can hit you and knock you down all the way back. You'll come over here. And right here you'll unlock the third little shortcut right here. So now you'll only need to take the 2 elevators up, and then boom, you'll be right here. Alright, so for some reason it won't let me go back down to show you this room, but basically all it is it's an elevator ride up with a bunch of those enemies that just throw axes at you. So once you get to the top here, you basically just come here, come off to the right. Another room that you can basically just run through right here. Alright, so for this room, you're basically just going to head down, come over here to the right. You'll follow this down. Now, when you get to the lever, I definitely make sure you clear the way before you do this, but once you activate the lever, like so, you'll have a certain amount of time to make it to the other side. You should have plenty of time to make it like so. Then you'll just keep heading up. Eventually you'll head up to this little area, and then right here you'll find the shortcut back to the start of the room. And then you'll head up here, and you'll have your next little save point. Alright, so from here you're going to have the elevator on your left that will take you up to the boss room specifically. Now, for the main setup I like to use is the main hand you have your the knight, then you have Sigrid and the parry, and then on your second you have Guardian Silva, Dark Witch Elaine, and then the poison. You could probably change out the poison for whatever you want really, but that's going to be the main thing for how I do this boss fight. Alright, but anyways, you will now have the fourth boss, Mad Knight Ulf. You'll start off by poisoning once he turns around, just to get some chip damage. This will mainly be a Eileen fight. As he sometimes likes to just sit at a distance and let you as you can see. But once he switches to phase 2, basically start with a Sigrid and then an immediate parry. And then you can switch back. Just try and keep some distance from him. If you get hit, basically heal, because almost everything will basically two-shot you. Whenever you get the stun on him, go to town. Sometimes you can hit the parry just right. If not, that's fine. Whenever he goes into phase 3, make sure that you are close enough. Once you're out of a lane, that's fine. And just like that, you will have finally defeated Mad Knight Ulf. It will take a bit of time to get the timings down for everything. Do be careful, as when he does his melee attack, he does it 2 hits instead of just the standard 1. But once you do that, you will now have Man Knight Ulv as a spirit. And then as well, you will also have a new ability, which will allow you to climb walls, which is pretty cool. So from here, what you want to do is you'll just come over to the right. You'll get the Heroic Death Trophy. As you can see, you can now just climb over walls. You'll now have an increase to your overall restoration. But I think that is going to do it for the second video in this Platinum Trophy Guide. 2 more bosses down compared to the first one, I know, but now I'm showing you more detailed walkthroughs of the areas because they're not as just simple, straightforward. But I'll see you all in the next video.